moving on to the Sheriff's Department.
Yes, sir.
Sorry to take your time, but I've got a lot to throw at you today. A couple years ago when I started cruising the first of this, I've asked them for funds, and we still have received funds. So, going with all that said, somebody asked me in the meeting, what does the sheriff need? I said $2.3 million. Of course, you know how that went, which is, I don't blame them. For the sheriff to buy one vehicle, I used to be able to put you in a car for $35,000. That will not even buy the car now. The car on state bid, two choices, Ford Explorer, $38,086. Dodge Durango, $38,762. Now that's just for the car. That's not for the equipment. Rogersville City just got done equipment 4 times. I've been on the phone with Travis, and I've been on the phone with my suppliers, anywhere from $9,000 to $10,000 to equip a vehicle. And that's not with the bells and whistles. That's all it is a push bumper, your console, your cage, your weapons blocking mechanism. They ain't got to do with radars and all that other stuff, and of course all the fancy lights and all that. So right now you're basically $48,000 for a car. But I've always come with you for a solution. So you want me to give you a number that the sheriff's needing? $800,000 is what he needs. But with that said, if we're going to try to replace 25 cars, $1.2 million, I've got a solution for you. If we can get, I think that's probably the average price that people's asking me on is, it was 500, but the prices of cars just went up, stuff's went up. You gotta remember we started this stuff 2 years ago. We're at $800,000 is what the sheriff's asking for you. With that said, I don't know if y'all realize it or not. Miles traveled, 65,000 miles. This is per month. October, 74,000. September, 74,000. Your summer months is a lot more higher mileage. August, 85,000. Of course, December, you're probably down into the 68,000s. Yeah. December was 62,000. Fleet of cars. 6 people to a shift. And all I'm talking about is taking care of patrol. I ain't talking administration. I'm not talking detectives. I'm not talking transport, court. All I'm doing is talking about the patrol division. 190. This is 6 months old. I didn't print it off. I forgot to. So you know, average officers running anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 miles a month. 197,000, 183,000, 214,000, 267,000, 197,000. We're 200,000 miles in our fleet of cars. Y'all know as well as I do. Maintenance is costing us a fortune. We just started having a sale. So I'm trying to get back up to the $1.2 million is what I'm trying to do. $140,000 roughly is what we make. That's the stuff that goes back to the general fund. Yeah, we sold some drag cars. I think there's 5 of them. We might make $50,000. We want to come back and ask you for that $140,000 back. That ain't money that y'all have been counting on. This is money that the sheriff had an auction. He's going to put it in the bank account. On the first sale, most of it was drug cars, and it was some county cars. I think we put in $20,000, $30,000. I may even ask a little bit of that back right there. So I've got the sheriff's got $100,000 left over in this year's budget. If I could add that into there, I'm getting back up to where it's at. We did buy 2 detective cars that was used. So that took away about $40,000. Many years ago, I can't remember, Sheriff, you might be able to, somebody asked the sheriff to come up with a plan for a rotation of cars. And he did that. But for 3 years, that money was taken away. Then, of course, COVID hit and everybody quit making anything, so you can't buy anything. For you to go onto a rotation, this ain't got to do with this, it's got to do with what's coming your way. For 6 cars every year to rotate, 6 people to a shift, 4 shifts is going to rotate your cars only on patrol, nothing else. That's going to cost you $288,000 per year. So I've got a solution for you. And I think we've got a plan in place. The only thing that's doing is increasing next year's budget $150,000, which I know it's high. But $800,000 will take care of patrol. In the next 2 years, I can take care of some administration, and I can take care of the detectives, and I can get you onto a rotation where you don't have this big prospect anymore. And can I guarantee you 100% no? But have I put the time in doing this? Absolutely. I fought my way through this, and I think I've got a solution for the sheriff. And I don't know I've got a solution for the taxpayer, because I'm a taxpayer too. And I'll try my best. I mean, y'all know me. Y'all come to ask me, I'll show you the numbers every day. But I can prove my numbers. I can prove my mileage. He's asking for $800,000. That's bottom dollar. I know it's, at least need $2.3 million, right? Come on, man. So,
all right, so the Sheriff's Department is requesting $800,000 in ARPA funds, of which right now we've whittled down 250 today. So it's 1.486. 1.486. And Chief Deputy, I'll tell you like this right here, man. You know, since this stuff started, I've always said, if we have police officers that are on duty, they need to carry the best firearms they can carry. That's their personal protection. And they need to wear the best vest we can get for them. And I'm of the opinion that we're doing a disservice to them if we're putting them in cars that, you know, could break down at any time during pursuit, or if they're on their way to a call where somebody's in danger, they're trying to save them, can't get there because the car hurts them. I mean, I believe that your equipment needs to be serviceable, functional, effective equipment. And so what you're telling us is to replace 25 cars, right? Or 24?
Just the number that you give me, I don't know what you're going to give me. So it's $48,000 a car, $50,000 a car. So 25, 1.2. And that's what my goal is, of working with other funds, of getting it to that point.
For $800,000, considering that you're going to request the money that you were able to make off the sale back and all that, that you will be able to replace 25 cars.
Yes.
And that's your entire patrol division.
No. That's, well, I've got, yes, there's 6, 24 is patrol. We've got 1 extra that's for the surveying field. So yes, that would take care of 95% of what we're patrolling.
So it's safe to say the vast majority of patrol.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
And then this gets you on a rotation patrol.
Yes. Well,
no,
two steps to it.
in 2 steps. What you're doing now is requesting a large lump sum to replace the aging fleet to reset the clock. The other figure that he went over was that 288. That's the figure budgetarily, annually, to stay on top of it. We put 140 in. 140 wasn't sufficient. 140 also wasn't altered as prices increased. So 140, we attempted to do this years ago, but it looks like we undershot a little bit, and we didn't account for ever reset the clock on the aging fleet. But keep in mind, we're going to have that rough budget year I talked about, but if we get ahead of this, in theory, we never, or any commission, has this conversation again where he's out of date on an entire fleet of cars.
So if you were to receive, let's say when it comes out of the wash, 1.2, we allocate 800 to you from ARPA, and in the wash you get 1.2 because all the maneuver. How many cars are you going to replace once you get these 25 set, you bought them, they're in the car?
I will take care of the patrol, then if the budget passes, that will take care of some of the cases and some of the.
So you'll start rotating.
Absolutely, yes. And the SROs, they get the cars that's passed down, and you've been you've been in some of our cars, they're pretty run down just because of the mileage on it. The sheriff's got a plan in place that a detective's car, where a patrol car would last you 4 years, a detective car will last you 8 years. So, because they're not driving like the patrol guys. And so, yes. Now, I think this is a good plan in place that will help us out for the next 5 to 7 years.
All right, so you've heard the chief deputy and the sheriff's request $800,000 for replacing 25 patrol division cars. Chairman, I make a motion. Mr. Kern has made the motion to approve $800,000 for the sheriff's department for replacement cars. It's been seconded by Commissioner Palmer. Is there any further discussion or questions to be asked? You did a pretty good job of telling us everything.
I just have a comment. You all did that, and ARPA money basically gone. There's nothing left for EMA radios. There's nothing left for sheriff's office, the courthouse security. There's really nothing left for many, or if any, of the nonprofits. And you're seeing that figure that's there to give, but there's a lot of stuff out there that, and I'm not against the cars. I'm just telling you, I want to make darn sure that you know what you're doing.
Well, let's go back to the point that I made earlier. If we're not putting the men and women who carry firearms to protect our community in vehicles that are well serviced or that are serviceable, I feel like it is a need in our community. I feel like your average patrol car has how many miles on it?
200,000. Now, I do have some cars that's got 50,000 miles on it. Right, 200,000 miles.
That'll go to SROs or somebody like that.
So your average mileage for your patrol division specifically would be 200,000 too, is that correct?
Yes.
You put an engine in one too, didn't you?
The company, I'm sure, transmissions, it just depends. It's, our maintenance is always going to be high. I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. It's, and these guys they do a phenomenal job keeping my cars up and running. Just like talking about transport cars, they last a lot longer than a patrol car. 8.3. It's not patrol guys. That's what I'm worried about.
And so you mentioned, I don't want to go over this much longer, but you mentioned that you can get Explorers or Durangos, so I don't think that big anymore.
No, the Ford went to the Explorer.
So the only cruiser you can get is an SUV.
You can get a Dodge Charger, but I shouldn't be the one speaking on this because I'm not a Dodge representative, but we're hearing that in 2 years everything's going to be electric and a Dodge Charger. Now, for me to prove that to you, I'm just on here, so.
So you mean they're going to non-fuel electric
Correct.
charging? Okay.
So I don't know what that will do about parts and things like that. Because we keep a bone yard up there. I mean, I've got 4 cars with salvage tires.
All right, well, you've heard the motion. Ms. Davis, will you call the roll?
Regilla,
Yes.
John Gibson,
Yes.
Robbie Palmer,
Yes.
Tom Kern,
Yes.
Jason Roach,
Yes.
Danny Ellis.
Yes.
6 yes, motion carries.
So that's step one. You still got to go through the commission, of course.
Right.
And that won't be until April.
Yes, that will be for this.